In .NET 10, there's a new feature that I think it's very interesting, and it's the capability of writing script, but in C#. No project required, just text file with C# code in it. It's great because instead of like writing PowerShell or Bash script, now you could do it in C#. So you have less language to learn and do the same thing. It seems like a good idea when you're manipulating files, you want to push some log and things like that. But can we do more advanced things, like, for example, connect to AI? That's the experiment I run. And I did some discovery, things that worked not as expected. And I want to share that with you. So let me show you. So I wrote 3 samples, and they're all available in GitHub. The link is down below, and they all do exactly the same thing. It's just the package or the SDK they are using is different. I wanted to call Reka API. It's a OpenAI compatible API, and make a request to get restaurant suggestion. Looks simple, right? Okay, so first thing, because it's a Reka API is a OpenAI standard, using the same standard, I was like, well, let's use OpenAI. So the way you call a package in a script is here by doing the pound sign and then package OpenAI and then the version. You could do that just like this. And after that, it's just regular code. Here, instead of using secret, I use the .NET env because I thought often when we do script and things like that, we use those .env environment file where we put information in it. That's why I did it instead of secret. Because the API is OpenAI standard, I could use an OpenAI client, but I need to change the URL to use the Reka one. So just like that, I could do this. And I'm using my API key. And by the way, Reka has a free tier, so you should check down below the link and get your API key and get free access to Reka API. Okay, let's continue now. So, and it's just like before, you specify your model. Here it's Reka Flash Research because I want to do a deep research using that model. So I want the model to go search the web for today's available restaurant information available online. So I'm asking here to give me 3 suggestions, and I will just do that. And it just do this. So before I execute the program, because like I said, they all do the same thing, let's have a look to the other SDK I used. So let's switch here. Another very popular SDK is the Microsoft Extension AI. And I use the OpenAI version of it, so I could, again, connect to my API. And it's the same pattern. I get my free key, and I connect to that URL, and then I specify the model, I send my prompt, and I get the answer. Just like that, it works, right? And in the last version, I did no SDK, a pure raw HTTP client, and it's just the same thing I'm creating. It's a bit more wordy, right? Because I'm not using SDK, so you lose that ease of like getting exactly the information. It's a bit more verbose, but it still works. So you're still doing that. You need though to specify that you want to use the chat. Specify your model, specify your prompt, and just like that, you send your prompt and retrieve the information. And like I said, it's a bit more verbose. So now you kind of like need to do a first one to get that response, and then like say, okay, you know what, I need to go choices, message, content to get the message. So it required a little bit more effort, but it worked. So let's have a fun and start one while just to prove that it works, right? That was kind of the subject of the experiment. So let's do a .NET. So let's run this experiment doing that. So while this is running, so it compiles first, obviously, and now it's running. So while it runs, let's go over why I think what I did discover. When I did code, one thing I noticed was the IntelliSense was not great, the experience, but I'm assuming that's just because I'm running in preview. So in November, when the .NET 10 comes out, I'm pretty sure the extension and like the OmniSharp, everything will be great, and we'll have IntelliSense that works. So it was a bummer, but we shouldn't take that in consideration. The experience of writing script and using it is wonderful. It's exactly what I was expecting, and I will definitely use it when I'm doing things and I know that .NET is installed on that machine. So instead of having multiple file, I will or languages, I will be able to have everything in C#. So that's great. What I did discover is while doing simple things with .NET, I was able to use the SDK, the OpenAI one, or the extension, Microsoft extension. But when I was trying to fine tune my query to make my deep research more efficient or get a specific format, it's important because when I do a query like that with a deep research, the format that I get, the response that I get, having it a specific format is useful because I'm not a human. The thing receiving that answer is not the human that can read the block of text, but it's a program code that will maybe save that in a database. So I need those 5 column defined, those 5 properties, or maybe I will use that and present that and pass it to another service. So the format is important. So that was not that easy to do. And also, part of the thing I really like was I can also have the reasoning of Reka's API. And for example, in my example, the answer is back. So let me show you this. So here we have it. Let's go make it bigger. So here we have our true restaurant. So here in this example, why Perché was the first one? Why McDonald's was maybe not involved in that list. So when you're looking at the reasoning, you could understand why one was avoid and why one was put in favor. You could also block or allow different domains. So you have a more granularity. And when I was trying to use those features in both the OpenAI SDK and the Microsoft extension, it was not working. But doing it natively with the raw HTTPS, it was working. So I'm curious, would you like to see a video where we go over those more advanced settings and share how it's possible to manipulate, fine-tune the query, allowed or block some domains, and then have a specific format so it could be used in different language? Let me know in the comment, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget, get your free API. Check the link. See you in the next one.